Hi, I'm Dana, and I recently got a comment where one of the parts was specifically about wanting to be alone, but also not wanting to be lonely. And it was one of the things that really hit with me. And I think we might be getting straight into the video. I think that's the entire intro because it really hit me and it's something that's really sat with me because I am so often just dealing with not getting burnt out. I'm just trying to push away the burnout, just get through life without being completely screwed, you know? And that does mean that a lot of the time the energy that I have is the energy that I need to actually live and do the things that I need to do. You know, it's the energy to cook and eat and do my dishes and wash my clothes. It's the energy to just live my very isolated little life that is just me and mine. And obviously, that can get really lonely. It's just little old me doing my own stuff all the time. And it's the kind of thing that I definitely feel like I benefit from. I definitely feel like I need to do that because otherwise I hit burnout and can't do anything at all and my entire world falls apart. It's one of those things that I find difficult because so many of my things are things that I want to do on my own, you know? Anything that I'm doing that's creative and making something I want to do on my own, I feel embarrassed when people see it. I don't want to do that stuff around people. I really love watching movies and TV shows and having someone else there takes out some of the immersion for me. I don't really want you to speak through it. I don't really want to chat, you know? I want to watch my thing. Even when it comes to making YouTube videos, even when I've made them with my closest best friend, I really struggle to sort of find the persona and get into the swing of it and actually make the video. I can't do a lot of things with people around. I can't clean my house with people around. If someone's in my house, if Winter's talking to me, I'm like, I can't mop right now. And I know realistically I physically could, but mentally I can't because someone's there. So between that and my energy levels, I want to be alone most of the time. A lot of the time I don't want anybody around. But like I say, that can get real fucking lonely, especially when it's the positions of oh, I want to message someone about this silly little thing that happened in my show or this silly thing my cat did or whatever, and there's just no one to message it to. There's just no one to talk to. And that's where I've definitely lost a lot of friendships and lost a lot of friendships before they've even managed to get a start, you know, before I've even actually made friends when they're still just an acquaintance. And I so often, I get in the point where I'm I need to meet people, I need to make friends, I need to socialise and get out there. So I do, and I meet people and I'm oh, this is lovely, they're so nice, I really like this person, I really like this person, I'm making friends, everything's great. And then living my actual day-to-day life alongside having now extra social events, it's lovely for 3 weeks. And then I need 3 months off. I can't keep up with it. I can't keep doing it. The anxiety and the stress that I feel just messaging people and suggesting things to do and then actually going out and doing them, it takes so much out of me. And that's the thing as well, is that I want to be around people. I want to like being around people. A lot of the time, I don't enjoy being around people. You know, I can't tell you how many social events and little meetups and just things I've gone to where I've sat there and been I made such a big thing out of coming to this. I really stressed myself out and went through the effort of getting ready, and I wish I hadn't come. I wish I hadn't shown up. I'm not having fun. I don't like it. I'm going home early. Another part of the comment that inspired this was about even when you're around people, it still feels like you're alone. And that's one of those things that I think I have a vague grasp on because that's how people speak and that's something people say a lot. But it's one of those things where personally, I don't necessarily feel alone when I'm around people that other people would have that vibe with. I don't feel like I'm alone because I don't mind being alone. I feel lonely when I'm sat at a table full of people and I just have nothing to add to the conversation. I don't have anything to say. I'm not particularly interested in what they're talking about. I don't feel like I have any reason to be there, you know? I don't feel alone. I feel lonely. And it feels like there's having to make the constant choice of, do I want to feel like that but get to be around people, or not be around people and not have to feel like that? Which is actually better, which is actually worse? Is it just a case of the grass is always greener and my mind is other people enjoy being around people, so I should too? And as with most things on this channel, I do try to keep the positive and some degree of a positive outlook towards things, because I have had the experiences when I meet people that are not even necessarily like me, but people that are just easy to be around. I don't feel the same level of anxiety. They don't take the same level of just energy and effort that a lot of people take. And I think for me, essentially, I have a lot of social situations that I go into and the whole time I am I'm social situationing, you know? Like, I'm thinking about my face and my body language and the way that I'm sitting. And as much as I am listening to what people are saying and trying to like come up with something to add to the conversation, if it's actually adding to the conversation, a lot of the time I just sit there quietly because I literally don't have anything to add. I don't have anything to say. I don't care. And then other times I'll have the like groups of people where I sit there and I'm listening and I'll like insert something, I'll have something to say, I'll start a conversation. You know, it just exists as a comfortable fucking social situation, and I can feel like my shoulders relax and the tension goes from the back of my neck, and I actually like sit there and I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying being around people. Nice. You know, and I have had quite a lot of situations when I am like highly masking and very uncomfortable and very anxious, and it's still been a fairly nice time. Like, it's more tiring. It's not enjoyable to feel very anxious and on edge. But I am also very aware that sometimes that's me. Sometimes that's just me, you know? And like, I might be feeling like that because I'm not used to the people around me, or I don't relate very well to them or whatever, but I still am able to like appreciate spending time with people that are different to me, you know? Like, it's not the same thing as when I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable and I'm safe and this is really nice. It's not the same as that. But it's still nice, it's still pleasant, I still enjoy it. And I also think that it's important to like spend time around people that aren't exactly like me and actually learn to socialise with people who don't click in the same way that I do and don't communicate in the same way that I do, you know? Like, it's definitely a very positive learning experience if you can find the types of people that just approach that with acceptance and are nice about it and tolerate you, you know? But then in saying that, like, I am very specifically talking about the people I come into contact with at church, because that's obviously like quite a diverse group of people, both in like age, gender, like sexuality, the whole lot. Like, a lot of the events and stuff that I go to, I am looking for like other queer neurodivergent people because they're the most likely people for me to relate to and get on with. And they're often the situations that I find the easiest, and that I find I sit there and I'm like, oh, this is nice, I'm actually enjoying this. I don't feel lonely even though I'm surrounded by like 20 people. This is good. I do think some level of it's that they're less likely to notice or care about like any little like social faux pas that I make. But like I say, when I'm able to find the groups that just don't feel like they're gonna care about that kind of thing anyway, whilst being their own completely different type of person to me, I do feel like I learn a lot from that, like socially, and really benefit from it. Because it is one of those things that I do feel like a lot of it comes from me, you know? As much as I'm aware that a lot of people are in situations where people are making them feel a certain way and people are making them, you know, like, often emotions are caused by a situation. And a lot of the time when it comes to like loneliness and feeling alone, I do feel like I've done it to myself, you know? Like, there's so many people that I've tried to make friends with, and when it's come to like the third time that I've had to initiate the hangout, I just don't, because I'm like, well, it's the third time that I've had to do it and they probably don't like me that much, I'm just forcing myself on them. And realistically, the chances are they were just fucking busy and they just weren't thinking about it. And me popping up and being like, hey, do you want to do this thing? They'll be like, yeah, I do, that'd be nice. But I get all anxious and weird about it, so then I don't. So then I just don't make a friend that, you know, that could have developed into a really close friendship where they were someone that I message on the daily or whatever, but it's never going to, because we hung out 3 times and I'm not doing it again because I'm not initiating it. Even though, like, I'm thinking about it, I could just initiate it and it'd be fine, it wouldn't matter. I can't, I won't, I'm not. And finally, to wrap this up on a heavy note, I think one of the big reasons that I'm completely fine with being alone is that I grew up alone, quite frankly. I didn't really manage to make many friends as a child. My brothers were 8 and 9 years older than me. My dad was setting up his own business, so he was just in his own office, locked away, door closed, don't come and disturb me. My mum was in work. Like, I was just there on my own and I had to deal with it. I had to figure out how to have fun and enjoy myself on my own. And that's the kind of thing where I've had therapists before be like, oh, so you had quite a lonely childhood. And it's like, I guess from an outsider's perspective, yes. But internally, I had all these worlds and all these characters and all these stories. And especially being a little kid, I didn't have to just like sit and watch my shows like I do now. I would sit and watch Lord of the Rings, and then I would spend the next 3 days out in the garden with a stick being Aragorn, you know? Like, as much as I'm sure it could have been more fun to get to have someone else with a stick to pretend to be Legolas and get to like fight together or something, like, I had the rest of the fellowship in my imagination. I didn't need another person to physically be there for that. Like, it didn't bother me, you know? Like, I just didn't really think about it. I just had a whole bunch of time to fill and no one to fill it with, so I learned how to be alone. And I do definitely massively think that stems to, like, I just don't mind it. It's just the way it's literally always been. It don't really bother me. But feeling lonely and feeling like there's not anybody there and feeling like you don't have anybody to reach out to and you need a little bit of support or someone to like rant to or chat to or vent to or whatever, that's when it definitely gets a bit tough. I think even like within my family unit, like my mum was really insistent that we would sit down for dinners together when we could. And even then it was the kind of thing where everyone would be talking, everyone would be chattering. And similarly to like social interactions with people I don't know or like very much, I just sat there, I ate my food, I tried not to be part of a conversation if I wanted, if I could help it, and then I fucked off, you know? I think I've had quite a lot of situations like that where realistically I should have felt a bit alone and felt a bit lonely and been a bit like, oh, this isn't very nice. But my brain's so focused on like what I'm about to do, what's coming next, you know? Like I think the comment specifically mentioned sitting around like the Christmas dinner table with your family and just feeling fucking alone even though your whole family's there. And it's the kind of thing where realistically, like when I think about it, I've had that exact experience. But it was Christmas Day and I was 12 years old and I was just thinking about how Doctor Who was going to be on later. So I wasn't focused on it. I just didn't care, you know? And that's not to say that other people shouldn't. This isn't a video to try and invalidate anyone's emotions. It's again, just my experience and how I feel about things. And, you know, I don't know. I always think maybe it'll just help to change someone's perspective a little bit or hopefully it helps someone to feel a little bit better. Essentially, that's what like 99% of my content is. I just want somebody out there to feel a little bit better because so often I don't feel good. At least somebody else maybe can. But yeah, that's all I had to say for this video. Sorry if it's like a bit disjointed. I feel a bit all over the shop today. I'm not having the greatest time of my life, to be honest with you. But if you want to see me continuing to have life for now, you can like this video to help me in the algorithm. You can subscribe to become part of the little like community that we have here. If anyone does need to like rant or vent or just like chat about anything, please do so in the comments. I have been replying to more and I've been really enjoying it actually, so like I might actually finally fucking respond to the people that respond to me. And even if I don't, I've increasingly seen like you guys replying to each other and saying nice things to each other, and like, God, I fucking love it. Because so often when I get really heavy comments, you know, I read the whole thing. I'm happy for you to have commented, and I just wish that I knew what the fuck to say. Because so often I'm just like, oh, that's rough, and I hope it gets better. But I can't comment now. It sounds pathetic and condescending. But yeah, so I love that. If you've got anything to comment, please do. You can also follow me over, because I post on Tuesdays, Sundays, and Thursdays. I don't know the order that these week names are coming out of my mouth anymore. You can do that. You can also follow me over on Instagram or TikTok. And you can also follow me on Ko-fi or Patreon if you wanted to leave a financial donation. But you don't have to, there's no pressure. The whole lot will be linked down below. Do what you will with it. Whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year. And I will see you again in a couple of days.